For 7 years, we called him the Teflon Don.
We find him not guilty.
Marveling as he pumped his fists, flush with 3 straight courtroom victories. A media-created superstar wearing $2,000 suits who mingled with the homeless.
Leave him alone, man. He's going to give you some money, Pete. All right, Pete, get some money.
At some point, the Dapper Don started believing his own press.
This is going to be a Cosa Nostra till I die. Be it an hour from now, be it tonight, or 100 years from now when I'm in jail, it's going to be a Cosa Nostra.
Largely because of these FBI tapes planted in Gotti's Ravenite Social Club in Little Italy, the godfather of the Gambino crime family, a resident of Howard Beach, Queens, would eventually go to jail for life. But much like the feds were frustrated by Chicago's Al Capone, who ultimately got nailed for tax evasion, it took them a while to get Gotti. John Joseph Gotti was born in the South Bronx, one of 13 children, but he made his mark in East New York, drifting into street gangs after dropping out of Franklin K. Lane High School. After killing this Irish gangster, James McBratney, in a Staten Island bar, a young John Gotti did 4 years in state prison.
Is the man in the street now? Yeah, he's lying in the street by his car.
But Gotti hit the big time with the hit on Gambino crime family boss Paul Castellano just before Christmas 1985, outside Sparks Steakhouse in Midtown.
The guys who did it, they looked like male whites. All 3 had tan trench coats.
Gotti didn't pull the trigger, but his trusted underboss, Sammy Bill Gravano, would later testify the 2 of them watched the brazen execution during rush hour from a car on 3rd Avenue and then drive by the scene. Here's Gotti talking on FBI wiretap. Within days, Gambino family members were paying tribute to Gotti as godfather, although the new underboss, Frankie DeCicco, would get blown up in a car bomb within several months, retaliation for the unsanctioned whacking of Castellano. Newspapers were filled with stories about a Gotti neighbor who had disappeared after his car accidentally ran over Gotti's 12-year-old son, killing the child. Pretty soon, this refrigerator repairman from Queens was recanting his story that John Gotti had assaulted him. Court victory number 1 for Team Gotti.
Unfortunately, they target him.
Then, in March 1987, Gotti was acquitted on federal racketeering charges. The U.S. attorney, already aware the jury had been tampered with. Gotti's legend was growing.
Gotti has been a cover boy. He's probably the first mob cover boy.
An image that was polished with his 3rd straight win over the government in his state trial for ordering the busting up of a union official.
I'm not saying he didn't do it. I simply had my doubts. There was nothing to connect up Mr. Gotti from what happened. Zilch.
But the FBI was laying the groundwork for a second federal case, picking up hours of tape featuring Gotti gabbing about his greatest hits, including why he ordered the murder of construction executive Louis DeBono. The FBI came calling on December 11, 1990, and John Gotti never dined in Regine's nightclub again. The trial judge disqualified Gotti's Lucky Charm lawyer, Bruce Cutler.
Because it's John J. Gotti Jr. on trial.
And turncoat underboss Sammy Bill Gravano issued Gotti a devastating blow in March 1992 when he described in detail Gotti's reign over the Gambino empire of gambling, loan sharking, construction, truck hijacking, and murder.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
He's been a rat all his life.
The rich and famous who palled around with the Dapper Don at the best Manhattan restaurants showed up to offer support. But after just 1.5 days of deliberations,
the Teflon is gone, the Don is covered with Velcro, and every charge in the indictment stuck.
Gotti's daughter Victoria, a future novelist, exploded at the guilty verdict.
My father is the last of the Mohegans. They don't make men like him anymore, and they never will.
Gotti's friends and followers destroyed several government cars during a riot outside federal court when the Godfather was sentenced to life in one of the toughest U.S. prisons. Other Gambino capos would follow Gotti to jail, thanks to Sammy Bull. Within 5 years, the feds were calling Gotti's son John, nicknamed Junior, the acting boss. But he too would get indicted in January 1998 and later cut a deal to get a 7-year prison term. In the 20th century, John Gotti truly was the last celebrity gangster. No other wise guy came close to generating his kind of headlines, perhaps only the fictional Tony Soprano. But no one ever called him the Dapper Don.